Imagine this. You're scrolling through Instagram and there it is. Another luxury car, a jaw-dropping dinner at a rooftop restaurant, a selfie in designer clothes. But what if I told you many of those dazzling images are posted by people sinking deeper into debt, desperately keeping up appearances they can barely afford? Why do people, especially those struggling financially, pretend to be rich, and why do they pay such a hefty price for it? Let's uncover 10 eye-opening, deeply emotional, and psychologically fascinating reasons, none of which are what you'd expect, and along the way, I'll reveal details that will flip your perspective and could literally change your financial life. Stay with me, because the last reason might just explain the biggest self-sabotage of your life. If you're ready to unlock your potential and achieve more, hit subscribe. We're dedicated to delivering actionable tips and real-life success stories. Number 1. The spotlight effect. How imaginary eyes drive real debt. Have you ever walked into a room and felt like all eyes were on you, judging your shoes, your phone, your watch? Behavioral scientists call this the spotlight effect. We wildly overestimate how much other people notice our appearance. People believe others pay far more attention to their looks and attire than they actually do. But here's the twist. Broke people, feeling the heat of perceived judgment, often spend money they don't have just to appear on par. Over 60% making less than $50,000 annually admitted to buying luxury items just for show. Ironically, the crowd rarely notices. Here's the knife edge. While most will break the bank chasing approval, wealth builders realize the world's barely looking. Next time you feel the urge to buy that flashy, overpriced accessory, ask yourself, who am I really doing this for? Would their opinion change my bank account? Reframe the urge. What if you directed that energy into assets, not appearances? One day you'll realize nobody cared but your wallet. In a moment, I'll expose a billion-dollar industry profiting from this insecurity, and chances are you've contributed to it today without knowing. Number 2. Desire for social mobility. The illusion of escaping your past. Growing up with less can leave you craving more, and there's power in visualization, dreaming of abundance, envisioning success. But here's where the line blurs dangerously. When acting rich replaces actually building wealth, you fall into the aspirational trap. A Harvard Business Review study highlighted how lower-income individuals often overspend on status brands to signal social mobility, but paradoxically, it traps them in debt. In China, the frenzied face culture drives millions to live above their means for societal approval, yet debt delinquencies rose 23% last year due to luxury purchases. This isn't just about stuff. It's a desperate hope. If I look the part, maybe I'll become it. The reality is, you can't shortcut genuine progress. Instead of pretending and paying the price, what if you channeled that drive into upskilling or investing in real upward mobility? Have you wondered why some people stay broke despite earning more? In a bit, I'll reveal a behavioral glitch that causes us to sabotage raises and windfalls. Number 3. Keeping up with the algorithm. How digital comparison kills financial stability. In the age of social media, comparison is no longer with neighbors or coworkers. It's with the entire algorithmic universe. You might think, if she can have that Chanel purse, why can't I? A landmark Stanford study found that Facebook and Instagram drive 32% higher competitive consumption, with financial strain intensifying as users compare themselves to digitally enhanced lifestyles. It matters because the game is rigged. Algorithms push aspirational content because it keeps you scrolling and spending. It's not just about money, it's about dopamine hits and manufactured FOMO. Most people make the mistake of buying into illusions, thinking it'll cure their insecurity. When you spot a luxury post, ask, is this real life or filtered theater? The new flex is authentic financial freedom, using your feed to inspire, not to compete. By the way, one of the coming reasons will show you how billionaires hack this exact weakness, building stealth wealth as their secret power. Number 4. The pain of exclusion. Spending for acceptance in hidden ways. Picture the family get-together, friends group chat, or office clique where everyone's chipping in for that high-end restaurant or resort trip. There's subtle but painful exclusion if you can't keep up. Research found that people are 74% more likely to conform to group spending, even when they can't afford it. It's primal. Belonging meant survival for our ancestors. But most people make the fatal error of equating self-worth with group approval. The price? You sacrifice your long-term goals for fleeting validation. Ask yourself, do I want to fit in for a day or build a life where I never have to pretend again? Real transformation comes when you create circles that celebrate transparency and growth, groups where the richest respect the savers. And remember, the people you're trying to impress might secretly be faking it too. Later, I'll crack open a psychological phenomenon that explains why we all lie, even to ourselves. Number 5. The toxic power of sunk cost fallacy. Ever bought something futile, an expensive jacket, car, gadget, then felt compelled to keep showing it off, even as your finances suffered? You're not alone. Nobel Prize winner Richard Thaler described the sunk cost fallacy. Once we spend, we irrationally double down to justify our choices. People keep up the rich act, thinking backing out would reveal weakness. A U.S. bank survey found 48% of Americans keep subscriptions or luxury items just because they feel too committed to cancel them, sinking deeper into financial trouble. Instead, imagine the freedom of admitting a mistake. Yeah, I bought that. Lesson learned. The wealthiest people pivot fast. It's not the mistake, but the fast correction that counts. Number 6. The science behind masking struggle with spending. When people feel threatened or ashamed, like being broke, they buy status goods to compensate for the wound. This is especially common where materialism is tied to self-worth. Most people hide behind possessions, hoping no one sees the struggle, but the mask breeds emptiness, not satisfaction. Ask, what am I trying to hide? What if financial honesty was my new status symbol? The magic happens when you create a new self-image, one that values resilience over possessions. We're about to dive into the unexpected way some cultures turn this shame into an investment powerhouse. Cultural codependency, how collective identity shapes spending. Sometimes it's not your ego at stake, but the face of your family, community, or entire cultural background. In countries like Nigeria or India, lavish weddings and public cash displays aren't just personal choices, they're societal mandates. In fact, India's wedding industry is valued at over $54 billion a year, and families accumulate decades of debt for a single event. Why? In many cultures, wealth display is survival. It's how you secure alliances, jobs, and respect. But here's the hard truth. This collective codependency multiplies the cost of faking it. What's the alternative? The most successful shifts happen when one brave soul resets the expectation, transforming family traditions by proposing simpler, more meaningful gatherings. Wouldn't you love to be the person who replaces generational debt with generational wealth? Just ahead, you'll learn how one overlooked emotion is the invisible force driving not just cultures, but entire economies. Number 8. The adrenaline trap. Addiction to the rush of impressing others. Have you ever noticed how a new luxury item spikes your excitement but fades faster each time? Neuroscientists revealed this is due to hedonic adaptation. Our brains quickly return to baseline, chasing bigger and riskier purchases for a fleeting thrill. Broke people, believing the next splurge will fill the void, find themselves in a dopamine loop, mistaking excitement for happiness. Ask yourself, am I addicted to the buzz or building lasting satisfaction? Sustainable wealth comes from crafting habits that reward patience and achievement, not just the next like. Number 9. Narrative hijacking, living a story that's not yours. Here's the ultimate twist. Many people pretend to be rich because they're living out a movie script written by someone else. Parents, peers, TikTok trends, marketers. When you act rich, you're often playing a character, not expressing your purpose. But true wealth comes from reclaiming your narrative, knowing your why and honoring it with each decision. Author Ramit Sethi says, spend extravagantly on what you love, cut mercilessly on what you don't. The difference? You choose, not culture or noise. Imagine recalibrating your story, so every dollar serves your value system, not someone else's fantasy. That shift is the purple cow, remarkable, rebel, and rich in authenticity. Here's the radical takeaway. If you stop performing someone else's script today and channel that energy into building real assets, gaining financial literacy, you not only save yourself from the agony and cost of pretense, you become the person others aspire to emulate. I believe in the power of shared knowledge. If this video inspired you, like it, share it with your loved ones, and subscribe for more transformative tips. If you want to know 8 sacrifices the top 1% made to become wealthy, watch this. I'll see you there.